Sets up Berge. Berge with a nice spike down in the middle to the back row. Right between Kelsey Tubner and Sarah Hagler. Berge, a very good volleyball player. Number 5 back to the second row to Tubner. Tubner, number 3 there. Laternus to Helene. Helene into the net. Rickford to Hagler. Laternus to Helene. Helene with the spike down. Frappier tried to dig that out, but missed on the dig. Nice spike, nice set. Jessica Tubner now back to serve. Bearcats second serve. Number 21 hits it with 2 hands. Oh, number 13. Tubner over to Laternus. Laternus to Hagler. Hagler tips it to the second row. Oh, there we got a carry call. Tubner back to Frappier. She digs up to. Oh, and a monster slam by Berge. Back to serve. Shervy tipped back. Helene tips across. Tipped back by Ronigan, and then Helene blocked it back over to the other side. Heiser back to serve. Heiser to Rickford. Over to Berge. Berge down in the second row. Berge back now to serve. Left-handed serve comes across and in. Just in. This time Emily turns, digs it to Helene. Helene to Hagler. Hagler down and hard to number 5. Shervy back across over to Helene. Helene to Tubner. Tubner tips it across over number 1. Number 1 to 13. 13 sets up number 1. Number 1 slams it in front of Allie Heiser. Berge back to serve again. Up to Laternus. Helene to Tubner. Tubner. Tubner is in the net. Partially blocked by 21. Berge served to Laternus to Helene. Helene to Hagler. Hagler with the dig, with the slam. And Ronigan watches it hit the floor. Helene to the second row and out. Out of the inline. Edlin to Jenny. Swanson to Tubner. Tubner, nice set from Helene. Right down in front of Sarah Hagler serve. Back to Berge. To number 1, dug out by Hagler. To Helene. To Tubner, tips it across over number 5. Number 13 now with set to number 1. Number 1 blocked at the line by Swanson. Nice block at the line and out of bounds. Went off number 1, Frappier's hands, and out of bounds. Hagler back to number 2, Ronigan. Set up to number 1, Frappier. Helene set to Tubner. Tubner down and out of bounds. Here, Frappier back to serve. Hagler over the net. Helene with the dig. Number 1 to Heisler. Heisler down low. Mustangs. Frappier's serve is way long this time. Tubner serve. Second row out here to Edlin. Edlin out to number 1, saves it. Frappier saves that ball. Number 2 to Helene. Helene to Tubner. Tubner down. Frappier digs. Edlin to Ronigan. To Hagler. To Helene. Helene to Heisler. Heisler tips it to the second row. Number 21 spikes it out of bounds. Set by number Harding out of bounds. Tubner with the serve. Back to Frappier to over to Harding. Jenny Swanson digs that. Michelle Helene up to Heisler. Heisler over to the number 1, Frappier 13. Number 2 with the tip. Michelle Helene with the dig. Tubner with the spike. Out of bounds. 21 Harding is back to serve. Over to Tubner. Tubner a little long. Off the net, Michelle Helene, and tipped back over by Hagler. Hagler out here to Rickford. Rickford with a beautiful set to Berge, and I'm behind. Rickford, number 2. Another good spike, but no, it hit the floor and the hands at the same time. Berge with 2 good spikes on that ball. Swanson, Helene. Allie Heiser tips it over. Rickford up to Emily Berge, tips and down. 21, Harding is serving. Out of the timeout, Tubner to Helene. Helene up to Heisler. Heisler with a tip over and falls down. Miscommunication. Her sister, Caitlin Harding. I think sister. Emily Laternis back to serve. Laternis to the back row. Frappier. Frappier to Rickford. Rickford to number 2. Tipped over and Laternis back over here to Tubner. Tubner with the spike. And not able to handle that spike with Elin. Laternis' serve is up over to Elin. Elin to Rickford. Rickford to Berge. Berge with the spike blocked by Tubner and Helene. Tubner and Helene try to block again, but this time Ronigan tip. Rickford with the serve back to Tubner. Tubner to Emily Laternis. Laternis to Tubner again. Jessica Tubner with the spike. Dug nicely. Laternis with another set. Over here to Heisler. Dug by Frappier. 13 to number 2. Spike blocked. Berge dug that out. Laternis. Helene. Jessica Tubner. Dug by Rippica. Number 13. Emily Berge with the spike. Strong spike. Comes Rickford with the serve. Over to Allie Heisler. Allie Heisler, Emily Laternis. Emily Laternis, Jessica Tubner. Jessica Tubner with the spike. Out of bounds. Rickford to Tubner. Laternis to Helene. Helene to Frappier. Frappier to Elin. And Emily Berge down. Well, Rickford with the serve. Helene with the set. Nobody there. Falls to the floor. Rickford serve. Out of bounds. And her serve to Frappier. To Rickford. To Berge. Tip. Almost dug by Tubner. Ronigan back to serve. To Shervy. Emily Laternis with the set to Helene. Helene missed that spike. Into the net. Ronigan, number 2 with the next serve. Goes short. Helene tips the ball over. Here comes Berge. Hagler with the spike. And that one's down and in. That was a good set, good spike. Point Bearcats. Allie Heisler back to score. Back to serve. Allie Heisler to Harding. Harding to Elin. Elin tried to tip it. Berge tried to tip, but that was blocked out the line by Sarah Hagler. And we had a net call, I believe. Emily Berge with the serve. Shervy with the field. Helene with the possible tip. Dug by Hagler. Out to Tubner. Tubner down to Berge. Number 1 with the spike. Helene and Hagler went up the left-handed serve back to Laternis. Laternis to Helene. Helene up to Tubner. Tubner with the possible spike. Blocked, tipped over by Hagler. Number 13 over to number 1 Frappier. Possibly blocked, dug by Heisler. Tubner tries to get it over, but misses. Good dig, just didn't quite get it high enough. Here comes Berge with another serve. This would be to Shervy. Shervy to Helene. To Hagler. Hagler. In. Good set. Helene back to number 2, up here to number 13 to Harding. Harding cross court. This is Allie Heisler. This game. Rickford to Swanson. Swanson to Helene. Back to Swanson. Swanson with the tip out to number 13. Rickford up to Ronigan. And nice set, nice spike. Rickford back to serve. This time the serve goes out of bounds. Looked like she kind of... Laternis back to number 10, Harding. Number 5, up here to Berge. Berge tips it out to Helene. Laternis to Allie Heisler with the tip. Number 2 saves. Number 13 with the tip. Good dig by Hagler. Hagler back up here to Tubner. Tubner tips it over to 13. Number 2 set. And attempted block fails. Number 2 Ronigan serves. Hagler. Laturnus. Laturnus to Michelle Helene, dug out by Frapier. Hagler up to Laturnus to Tubner. Tubner just knocks it over. Up here to Harding. To number 13. Cross over here to Ronigan. Dug by Tubner. Set. Allie Heisler. Ronigan. Number 13. Back. It's out of bounds. Frapier was out. Jessica Tubner about now back to serve. Out here to Rippon. Number 13 to Frapier. Blocked attempt at the net. Fall to the game now. Berge to serve. Berge to Hagler. Laturnus. Back to Hagler. Spikes it. In. It was called in by the line judge. Back to serve. Heisler's service up. Touches the net. Number 2 Ronigan. Frapier with the spike. Blocked by Hagler. Hagler got high in the air for that block. Number 13 over here to Harding. Harding dug out. Emily Laturnus. Pulling to Hagler. Hagler slams it down right in front of Rickford. The Bearcats have serve. Heisler to Berge. Frapier. She tips it over to Tubner. Helene to Sarah Hagler. Berge digs that one out. Number 13 over to Frapier. Frapier is blocked at the net, but saved. Frapier tries to tip it again, blocked by Hagler. Number 13 over to Frapier, blocked again, this time into the net. Number 13, Edlin to Laturnus, who knocks it over. Number 5 out to number 21. She just tips it. Harding just tips it over the net. Hedlund back to Laturnus. Laturnus up to Helene. Helene up to Kelsey Tubner. Kelsey Tubner over the net. Dug by number 5. Sets up number 21. Number 13, Edlin is back to Shervy. Shervy up to Helene. Helene to Hagler. Hagler bumps it over. Berge to Rickford. To Frapier. She just tips it over. Emily Laturnus with the set to Hagler. Hagler tips it to the back row. 13 up to Rickford. Number 21, Harding tips it across court. Hedlund, Laturnus. Go for that one. It hit inbounds. Michelle Helene now to serve. Back to Berge. Up to Rickford. Rickford. Berge hit it out of bounds. North Star serve. Helene serve. Berge to Rickford. Rickford out here to Frapier. And that's it. That was Wade Jr. Swanson up to Helene. Helene to Hagler. Hagler tips it down and in. Hagler now with the serve. Back to Rickford. Rickford up to number 2, Ronigan. Ronigan way deep in the corner. 21 to serve. Harding over to Hagler. Hagler up to Kelsey Tubner. To Miranda Darling. She knocks it over to Frapier. Frapier to Edlin. Berge with the tip. Harding again with the serve. Back to Tubner. Tubner went over the net. This time Berge to Rippiner. Berge slams one home. Side of the North Star Bearcats. Hagler with the dig out to Helene. Helene back set out to Tubner. Tubner down and Harding number 21. Number 20, number 2's. Number 2 tries to spike, blocked at the net by Jessica Tubner and Harding. Number 10 is Kelsey Tubner with the serve. And in the net. Rickford to Jessica Tubner. To Michelle Helene. Back to Kelsey Tubner, who necks it over to Rickford. Rickford to number 13, Edlin. Edlin to Berge is blocked by Tubner. Ball still live. Helene. We have a whistle? We have a whistle. And a substitution. But I didn't see the call. Emily Laternis. Back to Harding. Harding to number 2, spikes it over to Hagler. Hagler, Laternis. Laternis over to Allie Heiser. Tries to tip it quick, but Berge blocked that at the net. Now here comes Jessica Tubner. Blocked by Berge, but off her arm and out of bounds. Berge back to Frapier. Frapier to Rippinger. Pickford. And it. Ronigan with the serve. Laternis. To Tubner. Tubner with a monster spike off number 10. Serve. Tubner to Harding. Harding to Rickford. Rickford back to Berge. Berge was blocked at the line by Allie Heiser and Sarah Hagler. Tubner with those. Emily Berge now with the serve. Left-hander's got the ball up and serve. Shervy. Laternis. Laternis to Michelle Helene. Michelle Helene down in front of Rickford. Good spike, good set. Bearcats have a little momentum going now, 14-14. Allie Heiser with the serve. Back to number 2, Ronigan. To Rickford. To Frapier. Heisler. Laternis. Kelsey Tubner. Ronigan. Rickford. Frapier. And in. Rickford with the serve. That's not Rickford. Edlin. The lead set was a little long to Tubner. She knocked. Edlin. Serves into the net. Swanson back into the ball game for Sarah Laternis. Michelle Helene back to serve. Helene serve, fielded by, dug out by Ronigan. Tipped over by Frapier up to Helene, and Tubner is blocked. Number 21 Harding, Emily Berge way in the back. Here comes Edlin. Back to Hagler, to Helene. Nice set, good spike, Hagler. Hagler got up on top of the ball that time. Bearcats. Berge off her arm and out of bounds. This time Ronigan's off the ball and hits the back. Sister, I believe. Helene serve over to Brooke. Edlin. Berge with the tip over Shervy. Helene. Kelsey Tubner with the spike down in front. Berge this time up to Edlin. Edlin over here to Frapier. Blocked, tipped by Hagler. Blocked and tipped down by Hagler. Unable to be dug out by the Mustangs. Serve comes over here to Edlin, to Berge, to number 5, who put. Now Frapier is back to serve. To Tubner. Tubner to Helene. Helene's going to set up Hagler. Hagler's down, and Berge fields this one. Number 5, Rickford, over tipped by Ronigan. Swanson tipped over to, and we have a carry. Carry call up. Frapier over to Kelsey Tubner. Kelsey Tubner, here comes Kelsey Tubner with a tip. Berge with a dig. Number 13, number 2, Ronigan. Dug by Allie Heiser. Michelle Helene. Hagler was on the floor that time, and we have 4 hits. Out to Heiser. Heiser to Helene. She's going to set up Hagler. Hagler's going to tip it to the back row. Up here, number 5, Rickford. Rickford, number 21, Harding. Swanson. Swanson to Hagler. Tipped back row again. Number 13, number 5, Rick. Up to number 2, Ronigan. She spikes it down on the left side and in. Frapier with the serve is long this time. Allie Heiser ducks under the ball. Sarah Hagler with the serve now. 21-20. Hey, good game. Hagler with the serve high down to number 13, up here to 5, Rickford. Rickford 21. And spike is out of bounds. Harding with the spike. It's a little hard. Hagler to Edlin. To Rickford. Frapier tips it hard over the net to Heisler. Heisler up to Holeen to Kelsey Tubner, who knocks it back to Berge. Berge up to, here comes Ronigan's blocked. Ronigan, this time she knocks it past the two blockers and in front of Allie Heisler. Got there. Here comes Harding with the serve. In. Here comes Harding again. This time to Heisler. Heisler. Hagler tries to field that one. Has a tough time getting around Heisler. Both teams break the huddle now. Here comes Ronigan's serve. Allie Heisler up to Michelle Holeen. Michelle Holeen to Jessica Tubner. Jessica Tubner cross court and down. Right over the head of Ronigan. And right in front of Frapier. Tubner back to serve. Tubner's serve fielded by Ronigan. Down by Jessica Tubner on the return. Here comes Ronigan. Hits into the net. Pass this hit. Tubner out to. Now here comes Berge with a hard hit. It hits Swanson right back in the face on the block. Allie Heisler was in it. They need one more point. I'm just predicting. Emily Laternas to number 5, Rickford to Berge. Berge with a slam that's dug by Tubner and it falls in. See, I predicted right. Back over here to Edlin. Edlin to Rickford. Rickford up here. Miscommunication by Ronigan. Laternas back to Frapier. Frapier up here to Rickford. Rickford to Berge. Berge with a hard slam. The left-hander gets up on the ball. Rickford to Allie Heisler. Allie Heisler to Laternas. Laternas to Jessica Tubner. Blocked by Berge. And Rickford with the serve. Hagler. Hagler to Laternas. Laternas to Michelle Holeen. Michelle Holeen blocked. Rickford. Allie Heisler to Laternas. Laternas to Jessica Tubner. Jessica Tubner down. Frapier fields that one. Heisler to Tubner again. This time she went to the right side and scored. Emily Berge's up strong on the block. Frapier up to Rickford. To Berge. Off to get on the serve. Shervy with the dig. Up to Laternas to Michelle Holeen. Michelle Holeen blocked by Berge, of course. Heisler now with a long tip back to Edlin. Berge with the long spike. Here comes Ronigan. To Shervy. Laternas. To Hagler. Hagler tips it. Berge digs it out. We have a whistle. Shervy to Laternas. Laternas. Holeen. Holeen down. Dug nicely. Here comes Berge. Berge spike to the left side. Is set by number 13 Edlin. Here comes number 2 Ronigan. Again. Tubner to Laternas. Laternas to Hagler. Hagler tips it. Just inside Frapier. Digs that one out though. And Allie Heisler tries to tip back. Here comes a tip by Frapier. Oh, and that was dug out. And nicely on the side for the Mustangs, and Berge sent it home. With authority. Shervy, Laternas. Laternas to Hagler. Hagler's spike, dug. Here comes Edlin out to Frapier. Frapier over the head of Allie Heisler. Shanae Ronigan to serve. Back to Shervy. Shervy to Laternas. Laternas over here to Holeen. Holeen spike down to number 2 who's fielded. Here comes Frapier with a spike. Goes out the attempted block by Hagler. Laternas back over to Hagler. Hagler tips it to the back row. Edlin to Frapier, but she missed on the tip. Came down on her own side. Allie Heisler back to serve. Heiser to Rickford to Edlin. Frapier with a straight tip over to Heiser. Over here to Helene. Helene to Tubner, who bumps it way out of bounds. Berge serves into the net. Swanson comes into the game for Laterna. Serving to Berge. Up here to Edlin. She tips it over to Laterna, digs it. Helene up to Swanson. Swanson missed that spike. Dug nicely by the Mustangs on that good hard spike by Hagler. Rickford, number 2, Ronigan hits it. Heisler, Laterna, Kelsey Tubner, partially blocked at the net by number 21 Harding, but came down on their own side. Hagler served way back row. Comes Frapier, number 5. Michelle Helene over to Swanson. Swanson to Tubner. She tips it over. Number 5. Tipped by Hagler. Here comes number 5 again. Number 1. Helene to Tubner. Partially blocked by Harding. Edlin to Frapier to Hagler to Helene to Tubner. This time we have a net violation on Jessica Tubner. Frapier with a serve to Tubner. Tubner to Helene. Helene to Jessica Tubner. And she hits it way out of bounds. Out the end line inside. Serve. Hagler. Helene. Back to Kelsey Tubner. Kelsey Tubner fielded by, or dug out by Berge. Berge. Hagler. Helene back sets Tubner over the net. And in. Goes substitution into the game. Kelsey Tubner to serve. To Brooke Ronigan. Tipped over by number 13, Edlin. Edlin. Tubner's dug out on the spike. Tipped. Not fielded by Hagler. Walked away. And number 21's Harding serve goes into the net. So now we have Laterna's back to serve. Laterna's out here, number 10, Harding. Number 5 sets up Berge. Berge tips it over, fielded by Hagler. Hagler out to Laterna's to Heiser. Back across over. Here comes Edlin. Here comes Berge's spike. Tubner with the dig. Laterna, Allie Heiser. But Ronigan sends it in. Rickford serve hits the net, just barely drops over. Allie Heiser. Hagler, Laterna to Helene. Helene goes right by Berge and in on the left side. Jessica Tubner out here to Ronigan. Ronigan to Rickford. Rickford to Berge was blocked by Hagler at the line. Here comes Hagler, and this time it goes off Rickford and out of bounds. Had a good match up there at the net. Tubner's serve is out of bounds this time. Frapier comes back into the ballgame. Here comes Ronigan's serve. Shervy, Laterna to Hagler. Hagler's blocked by Berge. Tubner digs that one. Laterna's up to Helene. Helene over. Here comes Emily Berge. Berge misses that one. Hits the net. 4 hits on the side for the Bearcats. Back to the back row. Miscommunication here by number 2. Serves again to Rickford. Edlin tried to tip that. It was blocked by Hagler. Up to Frapier. Frapier over here to Emily Berge, who got under the ball and knocks it out of bounds off the end line. Ronigan Here comes Berge's spike, partially blocked by Hagler and Tubner. Left-handed serve goes to Heiser. Heiser to Holeen. Holeen to here's hit by the net and falls in. Edlin tips it over to Shervy. Shervy to Holeen. Over here to Kelsey Tubner. Kelsey Tubner. Berge digs that one. Edlin. Frappier blocked at the line. Here comes Frappier again. Blocked again, but dug out this time by Heisler. Ball still live. Shervy knocks the ball over. Here comes Edlin up to Frappier. Frappier tries one more time, and this time she comes down the line and in. Here comes Edlin serve. Allie Heiser. Holeen. Sarah Hagler. Down. Berge thought that might have been out. She ducked out of the way and it landed in. Hagler out here to Ronigan. To Edlin. Here comes Harding. Tips it over and in. Hagler receives a serve to Holeen to Jessica Tubner. Jessica Tubner, Frappier. Here comes Rickford's set. Hagler digs that. Holeen up to Tubner. Tubner tips out to number 2, number 13. Here comes number 2, Spike, and it's in front of Allie Heisler. Ronigan with the spike. So out of the timeout. Out of the timeout, Frappier serve. Tubner. Holeen. Holeen out here, Jessica Tubner. Jessica Tubner tips it down. Berge fields that one. 13 comes up set for Ronigan. Ronigan spike lands down in front of Hagler. The first serve by Rickford goes into the net. 2-1. Emily Laternis. Berge with the tip over by Frappier up to Laternis. Laternis to Allie Heiser. Allie Heiser back to number 9. Number 13, Edlin. Ooh, nice set, nice spike. Hagler with the serve, or with the field. Here comes Tubner on the spike, blocked by Berge and out of bounds. Off him. Holeen up to Laternis. Laternis sets up Holeen again. Holeen down this time. Right past and right on the sideline. Right set, good spike. Tubner Frappier. Tipped over by Edlin way deep in the corner. Saved by Tubner and Laternis and bumped over by Hagler. Number 9 gets that one. Here comes Berge's spike. She got on top of the ball hard. Kelsey Tubner. Emily Laternis. Here comes Sarah Hagler. She tips it across the net. Frappier digs that one out. Laternis. Here comes Heiser with the spike. That was dug out. Frappier with another spike. Tubner digs that one out. Miscommunication. Michelle Holeen overran that. Emily Laternis, the setter on this side. And the ball just barely makes it over the net on Berge's. Heisler up to Laternis. Laternis to Hagler. Hagler spiked and blocked by Harding. Tipped over by Shervy. Here comes Harding. Attempted block. Saved by Tubner, but we have a carry. Hagler up to Holeen. Back to Hagler. Hagler spikes it hard at Berge. Berge's off her hands and up on the backboard. Good set, good spike. Here comes Heisler over here to Ronigan. Up to Edlin. Edlin to Harding. Blocked by Hagler and Holeen. Tipped across into the corner by... Back to Heisler. Up here to Holeen. Holeen up to Hagler. Beautiful set. Nice spike. Tough one to handle for Edlin. Perfect set. Perfect. Michelle Holeen with a good serve back to Ronigan. Edlin. Edlin to Harding. Harding spike goes out of bounds. Berge on the dig. Up to Frappier. Hit over by Harding. Shervy up to Holeen. Holeen. Hagler. Down in between Berge and Ronigan. Nice. And there we have an ace by Holeen. It hit Ronigan in the arm on the wrong. Berge out of bounds. Second ace. Holeen sets Hagler. Hagler misses that tip. Back to serve. Short serve. Tubner, Holeen, up here to Swanson. Swanson sends it way back to Berge. Berge up to Edlin. Holeen up to Hagler. Hagler out of bounds. Very close. Frapier to serve. Short serve to Swanson. Holeen fields that one. Hagler tries to tip, misses the tip. This time Frapier's serve is out of bounds. Hagler back to serve. Hagler served the back row to Edlin. Here comes Rickford. Ronigan tips in the hole. And we got Harding with the serve. Kelsey Tubner up to Holeen. Holeen back to Kelsey Tubner. Kelsey Tubner tips to Berge. And we have a hard spike. Serves to Allie Heiser. To Holeen. Back sets to Kelsey Tubner. She puts it down, but dug nicely by Elin. Here comes Berge's spike, but it hit the net and came back for four. Kelsey Tubner with the serve and long out of bounds. Rickford's serve is short. She tried to hit. Emily Turnus back to Frapier. Up here to Rickford. Back over to number 2. Emily Laturnus digs out. Sarah Hagler with the tip up here to Kelsey Tubner. Kelsey Tubner tries to hit it, but out of bounds. Ronigan to Hagler, to Laturnus, to Jessica Tubner. Partially blocked by Berge. Here comes Ronigan from the back. Hagler to Laturnus. To Allie Heiser, too long on the serve, on the spike. Into the serve. To Kelsey Tubner, to Emily Laturnus, back to Kelsey Tubner, Michelle Holeen, excuse me. Emily Laturnus, Michelle Holeen. We're going to try to save that Jessica Tubner over here to Edlin. Edlin to Berge, she tips it long and out of bounds. Comes Frapier. Oh, nice set by Edlin and Shervy to Laturnus. Over here to Hagler. Hagler knocks it down. Nice set, nice serve. Nice set, nice spike. Ronigan with the dig. Up to Edlin. Edlin to Harding. She tries to tip it. Kelsey Tubner digs out. Emily Laturnus back to Kelsey Tubner. Blocked by Harding. And off Allie Heiser. Edlin's serve goes into the net. Michelle Holeen to serve. Back to Ronigan. Up here to Edlin. Edlin back sets to Frapier. She hits it out of bounds. Holeen serve to Ronigan. Here comes Edlin. Edlin over here to Frapier. She bumps it over to Heiser. Heiser sets up Holeen. Holeen to Hagler. Hagler down on the end line. Nice set again. Nice spike. We're seeing some beautiful sets and beautiful service to up here to Frapier. Harding slams it down. Allie Heiser digs that one out. Kelsey Tubner. Michelle Holeen tips it over to the back row. Berge. Up to Edlin. Edlin to Frapier. She tries to slam it, but Heiser's there again. Berge. Edlin. Harding. Blocked by Hagler. Edlin. Frapier. She tries to tip it this time and out of bounds. Nice volley by both teams. North Star winning that one though. Holeen to Rickford. To Edlin. Here comes Emily Berge from the back row. Dug by Shervy. Slammed by Kelsey Tubner. Here comes Frapier. Shervy to Holeen. To Hagler. Hagler tips it to the back row. Ronigan. Edlin. Frapier tries to spike down. Allie Heiser's there. Holeen. Kelsey Tubner down. Number 5. Berge. Here comes Berge's. Here comes Holeen set to Hagler. Hagler tips it down. And Rickford couldn't quite field that one. Nice tip the opposite way by Hagler. Frapier, here comes Harding. Shervy, Helene to Hagler. Hagler partially blocked by Harding, but came down on the Mustang side. Bearcats leading now, got some momentum going here. Timeout, Mustangs. So Midkota trying to take the air out of the sails. Number 5 just bumps her over. Here comes Shervy up to Helene. Helene to Hagler. Blocked. Blocked. What did you say? Allie Heisler. Up here to Helene. Helene to Jenny Swanson. Swanson bumps it over here to number 5. Number 2 bumps it over. Helene. Heisler. Hagler bumps that over to the back row. Frapier. Rickford. Ronigan tried to get to that one, but it was too far out of bounds. Went on the wrong side of the pole. Tudmer comes back at the game, and here's Hagler's serve. Back to Edlin. Edlin to Rickford. Rickford up here to Harding, who misses the spike this time and into the net. Edlin, Rickford, Ronigan. Back row, in the hole. Harding to Heisler. Heisler to Michelle Helene. Michelle Helene. Oh, blocked strongly there by Ronigan on. And that service was out of bounds. Into the game is number 9. Brooke. Serve to Brooke. There's Rickford over here to Emily. She's blocked by Tugner and Swanson. It's dug out nicely though, and Emily Berge gets the ball back. Tugner with the spike. Frapier digs that one. Here's another spike where Ronigan hits the net this time and falls on their side. So the Mustang crowd really getting into this one now. 23-20. Here comes Kelsey Tugner's serve. Just over the net. Here comes Emily Berg's tip. Michelle Helene. Swanson. Swanson to Tugner. Tugner down. Dug nicely by Brooke. Number 2 is blocked. And blocked again. Back to Swanson. Swanson gets it over the net. Here comes Edlin. Edlin to Emily Berg. She's not going to let that one go by. That was a good set. Rickford with the serve. Hagler with a nice dig. Ball comes down. Rickford. Excuse me. Helene to Tugner. Tugner sends it over, and it goes out of bounds off Ronigan's arm. Bearcats need 1 point to take this game. Emily Laternis back to serve. Up here to Rickford. Rickford to Berg. Went off. Kelsey Tugner and Sarah Ronigan back to serve. Helene. Laternis back to Helene. Blocked by Berg, but out of bounds. Blocked by Berg, out of bounds, and North Star steals the 4th game. Up here to Rickford. Rickford to Emily Berg. Dug nicely by Tudmer to Laternis. Heisler. Up here to Edlin. Edlin to Ronigan. Too long. Out of bounds on the end line. Emily Laternis with the serve to Frapier. Frapier up to Rickford. Rickford to Berg. Blocked by Tugner and Helene. Tip over there. Emily Laternis tries to dig that out of the net after the tip. Kelsey Tugner misplayed that one. Rickford to Helene. Helene to Laternis. Laternis to Jessica Tugner. Jessica Tugner tips it down, but dug nicely out by Edlin, who gives it to Berg, and she spikes it. Now Helene gets it back over there, and Edlin over here to number 2 Ronigan. She puts it down inside the hole. Michelle Helene's spike. Rickford to Hagler. To Laternis, up to Tugner. Tugner's partially blocked by Berge. Up here, back to Berge. Berge tips it just over Tubner's head. Allie Heiser digs that one. Emily Laturnis with the tip. Back to Rickford. Rickford up here to Edlin. Edlin to Emily Berg. Berg back to Hagler. Hagler to Laturnis. Up to Heiser. She tries for the tip. Missed it. Here comes Rick Verserd. Up to Heiser to Laturnis. Laturnis to Jessica Tubner. Jessica Tubner dug out by Frenier. Here comes Ronigan. And she spikes it down. Hagler up to Laturnis. To Helene. Helene's dug out by Berg. Set by Edlin. Tipped over here by number 2. Here comes Allie Heiser. Allie Heiser back over here. Ronigan. Frappier. Hagler. Laturnis. Jessica Tubner with the spike, hits the net and falls right down in front of number 2, Ronigan. Frappier over here to Rickford. To Emily Berg, who slams it home past. Here comes Ronigan. To Hagler. Over here to Laturnis, back to Hagler. Hagler's got on top of the ball a little too much that time. Shervy with the dig up to Laturnis. Helene. Helene's spike goes long and out of bounds. Heiser to Laturnis to Hagler. Hagler drops it down. Ronigan tries to bump it, but out of bounds. She dug it a little too far. Allie Heiser to Rickford. Partially blocked by Hagler, but dug up. Set up to Kelsey Tubner. Partially blocked by Berge. Rickford to Frappier. She tips it. Oh, Laturnis from her knees, but Emily Berge was there. It's not on their side, the Mustang side, and was hit by Berge. Timeout, North Star. So out of the timeout, Allie Heiser serve. Into the net. Heiser to Helene. Helene to Hagler. Hagler slams it into Rickford off the roof. Bounce back over. Emily Laturnis back to Helene. Again Hagler. This time, Rickford's hands knocked it out of bounds on a hard spike by Hagler. Helene, who has 4 aces. Back to Ronigan. Edlin. Here comes Harding, blocked. Edlin tries to tip it over off Helene. Shervy. Helene back over the net. Good save. Ronigan up to Edlin. Edlin up here to number 1 Frappier, who knocks it into the second row and on the Edlin to Jenny Swanson. Swanson to Helene. Helene back sets Kelsey Tubner. Kelsey Tubner fielded by Berge. Here comes Frappier up to Heisler, who knocks it just out of bounds. Jenny Swanson couldn't catch up to that one. Back to serve. Kelsey Tubner. Michelle Helene. Sarah Hagler tips it to the back row. Edlin. Up to Rickford. Rickford to Harding. Harding placed it just right in front of Allie Heiser. Michelle. Here comes Hagler's spike for the set for Michelle Helene. Beautiful set, beautiful spike. Knocked it in. Knocked it down. Kill. Sarah Hagler. Emily Berge to Edlin. Edlin up here to Harding. Harding tips it over to Helene. Helene to Swanson. Swanson up to Tubner. Tubner tips it over. Here comes Frappier. Spike blocked at the net. Tipped back over by Kelsey Tubner. Edlin over here, Frappier. She knocks it in the hole. Game and match. Midkota Mustangs. What a hard-fought battle by the North Star Bearcats, though.
That survivorship being the most